I share what I'm listening to and my thoughts on music and the business daily for free at helloyassine.com.
What's poppin', y'all? One of the people, or I would say probably the person at the forefront outside of just specifically a hip-hop streamer, cultural commentator, which would be Akademiks, of course. The number one guy after that's more of a broader entertainment-based audience was Cenat. And recently, he was just put under fire by many Carti stans and just people on X where they're saying that he's just riding the wave and he's not really a Carti fan like, I don't know, many other people perhaps. Like, for example, one of the people that Kai brought on with him when he met Carti was this guy Dabo, who's a live streamer that basically, from what I know him, I don't want to discredit anything else he may have done. From what I know him as, I've only seen clips of him just absolutely deriding Carti, like super stan levels. More similar to what Annoying TV does with Drake. So somebody tweeted out and said, Cenat deadass riding the wave. I promise you he thought Carti was ass in 2020. And yeah, I'm one of those people that thought Carti was ass in 2020. Now, maybe 2 or 3 songs from A Whole Lotta Red have grown on me since then, but I don't think there's anything wrong with Cenat not liking Carti's music in 2020 because a lot of this is just business. So first, let's go back and see if Cenat messed with Carti at all. For example, I would say this really started off because Cenat's audience, number one, very young audience. He may try to say otherwise, but man, number one, who has the time to watch streams for hours on end daily? It's definitely not people that have full-time jobs. Number two, who has time to watch long live streams daily or semi-regularly that are Cenat streams where they're overly animated? He's, got all these sound effects. He's playing random video games here and there. The content is designed to be as entertaining as possible, not necessarily so much so informative. So that's another aspect of the content that may put away a lot of an older audience. That doesn't mean they don't respect what Kai does. It just doesn't gel with them. So Cenat has a young audience. Who are the majority of Playboi Carti's fans? A really young audience. The majority of Playboi Carti's fans are maybe 10 years younger than him or more. I would say most of them are under 24. Granted, Carti's almost 30 now. He's born in 1995. I just know that he's 2 years younger than whatever age people think he was born in. And yeah, people can try to argue that all you want, but listen, I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. I know how old the guy is. Regardless, that's not the main point here. So Cenat, the big moment was when he asked Carti to drop the album at the Grammys. Prior to this, Adin Ross was the one that was, I would say, genuinely a Carti fan. And he tried to get Carti on, but this was also a business move too. So if you guys recall, he tries to get Carti on, and it was a complete disaster. Carti just played some music, which I don't even know if that ended up on the album, and walked off after 15 minutes with, some people were saying 2 million, some people were saying 1 million, some people were saying 500,000. Numbers were all over the place, but he basically scammed Adin Ross. And people didn't like this. But in the lead up to music, Cenat on the Grammys, one of the biggest stages ever, he was on live television, and he was also streaming to 200,000 people, and he used that moment to ask him to drop. So I'm going to play that clip for you guys right now.
You know what we missing? The Playboi Carti album. He needs to drop. Okay. For real. Carti gotta drop. I know Carti gonna see this. Carti just dropped. I'm on national TV. Drop, gang. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what we missing. In my world, a lot of people need that. So we need to make sure that happens. Okay. Hell yeah.
So regardless of what you may consider this move to be, whether he's a fan or not, this was a very, very positive moment for Playboi Carti. Like, you've got this huge audience. It's a promotional clip, and he's shouting out your album above all else, like basically telling you to drop. And of course, Cenat knows his audience loves Carti. They're probably always asking him to react to him. And no, I don't think Cenat really enjoyed A Whole Lotta Red. But after this, in the lead up, Cenat started getting more information about Playboi Carti's release. Akademiks, of course, was getting more information, but Akademiks is the role of within hip-hop. If you want an audience outside of hip-hop to get the information, you don't give it to Akademiks, which is why Akademiks gets the inside scoop usually before most people, because anybody within hip-hop that's a rapper, they want the hip-hop audience to respect them first, and then they want everyone else to listen to their stuff, for the most part. And this is an issue that I would say Russ ran into, even though he didn't need to. Russ was somebody that, outside of hip-hop, he always had a big fan base that, sure, maybe some of them were hip-hop fans, but most of them were just Russ fans. And he always wanted to get the respect, accolades, and welcoming within the hip-hop audience, which is where Akademiks Akademiks is based, of course. That's where everybody's paying attention to. It's the #1 media outlet at this point and has been for quite a while, regardless of what opinion you may have of him. So Russ was constantly trying to get that approval. It didn't, I would say it worked half and half. Like a lot of the industry in terms of journalists and stuff like that, they mess with him now. The overarching audience, I would say it's 50-50. I don't think they have a negative opinion of him anymore, but it's not necessarily tuning into everything he's got going on. Now I'll contrast that with an example of a rapper that has zero presence within the hip-hop community, and that's NF. So NF is able to do arena tours in Europe and the US, outselling the majority of rappers. But when you consider rappers in general or hip-hop community in general, people aren't talking about him. If I make a video about him, it's not going to do views because I have mainly a hip-hop audience. This is important. Now, what happens after this is Carti starts giving information to Cenat, and he even talks about Kai, or he talks about the incident with Adin Ross on Kai's stream. So I'm going to play you guys that clip now.
Would you ever go on like another stream?
Yeah, I got to, cause like that Adin Ross, you know what I mean? Like, I ain't like that. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Like, they weren't even supposed to be like that. I ain't gonna cap. You know what I'm saying? I wish that shit wasn't like that.
You gotta do
I
another
don't mean
one.
nothing negative for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
You gotta do another one,
most
bro.
definitely. Yeah.
Some lit shit, some turnt shit.
Yeah. It ain't even that, bro. I honestly, Shaz, like, he's just not my type of nigga, so it's gonna be awkward, you feel me? And it's cool. Everybody ain't, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't have this.
So as you guys just heard, Carti's just yapping. He's like, man, I didn't really mess with the guy. This is disingenuous. This is dishonest, but I understand what he's doing here. He realized he didn't think that he was going to get the amount of hate that he got after the Adin Ross incident. And Cenat, you can tell this guy's he's got a lot of integrity. Now, there is the element of, like, he also has to protect his brand to a degree, so he may not mess with, or he might not stand right next to certain people that he's cool with if they're radioactive. Let's say, for example, like when Sneeko was radioactive, or even now, like, he's got to distance himself from Ye. But he's like, yeah, y'all got to run that back because Adin Ross is his man. He did him a solid early on in his career. And Carti's just like, man, I didn't really vibe with him. But Adin Ross was talking about day after day, Carti was gassing him up like he thought they were getting along. He thought they were boys. Maybe that was a misinterpretation. I don't know. But at this point, Cenat and Playboi Carti are in a mutually beneficial relationship. If Playboi Carti was going to treat Cenat in the way that Carti treated Adin Ross, even if money wasn't involved, he's not going to stay showing him love just because he's a quote-unquote fan. And then on top of that, Carti's also done a lot of solids for Cenat. So he brought him and gave him the mic on stage at Rolling Loud in one of the biggest Rolling Loud moments of the past couple of years, which is Carti performing his album, a day or two after it just dropped at Rolling Loud, and Cenat streaming it, and he gives him the mic. So I'll play you guys that clip right now. So not only does he bring him on stage, and Cenat brings that guy Dabo with him, which just goes to show, like, Cenat knows how to make content, but I also think part of it is him being a genuine guy. Whereas I think he thinks, oh, it would be great for content if the biggest Playboi Carti stan finally gets to meet Carti, but I'm also doing another streamer homie a solid because I'm putting him in front of my audience, I'm making him meet Carti, and it's just an overall wholesome moment. There's that. Carti didn't have to give Kai the microphone on stage, but of course, everybody that's at Rolling Loud, or not everybody, but the majority of people know Kai. So he gives him that moment, and then on top of that, he gets to be on stage with The Weeknd. So I'm gonna play you guys that clip right now. So not only does Kai and Carti benefit from each other from this entire situation, but now Kai Cenat gets to meet The Weeknd on stage, which is a global superstar, global icon, the Michael Jackson of our era, if he could dance. He's just dropped a lot of fire music. I just love The Weeknd's music, man. I don't know of any of these people personally. Let me just put that out there. I don't know any of them personally, so how could I? And Akademiks has a similar relationship with Carti. Now, of course, Akademiks is so hip-hop based and he's a lot more hated than individuals like Kai Cenat. And even after Akademiks had the whole situation with the 15-year-old kid, Carti was still giving him information and showing him love because he understands the value that he brings. And I think Carti just grew up on Akademiks like most rappers have. And Akademiks gives his own opinion on Whole Lotta Red, which I don't think he liked. Akademiks was on Whole Lotta Red. He was sampled because he was getting information from Carti and Carti's team. So I'm going to play this clip from 2022 when it's in recap of an interview that he did with Yachty, Akademiks and Yachty.
Wonder if you've noticed that Whole Lotta Red has been the album that has stood the test of time. Whole Lotta Red is a classic. It's lasted. It's great. And Carti, without doing shit, Carti is the guy again. And I'm like, He's like, right now, Carti is the it.
So there you go. Akademiks isn't saying himself that he thinks Whole Lotta Red is fire. He's always talking about it from the perspective of fans. Like, yo, this is grown on fans. Yo, I had to think about this. Man, let's keep it a buck. Akademiks did not like No Die Lit. I do think he probably enjoyed Self-Titled. Die Lit, I don't really think he liked it. Whole Lotta Red, I don't really think he liked it. And if the easiest way to know if he liked it or not is just to see how frequently he played it. I mean, if you go through the guy's intros, he probably never played Whole Lotta Red songs. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to like the music. And this is something that fans feel like is necessary. You've got to be a fan of the guy. No, there's a mutually beneficial relationship based on respect. If you're a fan, you're likely going to get less respect. And Adin Ross was the guy that really paved the way, I would say, for entertainers/streamers to be able to demonstrate such a high value to artists that record labels wanted their artists to do something with them. If you guys recall, record label, I would say Akademiks was doing it before, but that was solely in the hip hop community. Adin Ross was this crossover to a degree that was bringing people on, and it was getting them visibility like never before, and the promotion was amazing for them, regardless of whether or not it embarrassed them when it comes to the rappers, which I do think it embarrassed a lot of rappers. But hey, they knew what they were doing when they got on there. So my final opinion on this is, yeah, Kai Cenat probably didn't like Whole Lotta Red that much. Maybe he liked a couple of songs on there. But Kai Cenat, he's not an individual as much as he is like a company. Like, of course, if Kai Cenat doesn't like Playboi Carti, he doesn't like what he represents, and he feels like he's disrespectful, I don't think he's going to do content with him. But Kai Cenat is thinking, what does my audience and the greater audience like to see? How does this intersect with what I'm willing to do? And he marries those things together, and he goes through with it. I do think Kai Cenat was so excited to wait all night for Playboi Carti's album. Absolutely not. If he was by himself, just chilling, not streaming, he probably would have went to bed and maybe checked it out the next morning. Akademiks, he talked about how he enjoyed the recent album, but how much of that is because he's close friends with Carti, or close enough with Carti? I don't think it's much, because otherwise he would have said Whole Lotta Red was fire. He didn't say that. But he did say music was fire. And I'll give my own thoughts on music in probably a separate video. I've just been listening to it so frequently, just trying to digest it. And I haven't really seen any opinions on it online from Carti stans or otherwise. Whole Lotta Red, I saw a lot of opinions on it. And a lot of people changed their opinions, but I kept my opinion the same since day one of listening to that thing. It was a hard... Well, I wouldn't say my opinion stayed completely the same, but it was... there were only a couple of songs that grew on me. So yeah, this is like a business relationship. I do like the marriage between streaming and rappers, because I've already made videos in the past where I talk about rappers are no longer what young kids aspire to be. For the most part. Back then, it was always like, yo, the coolest thing is a rapper. And for a while, streamers, gamers, it was kind of seen as lame or corny, even though young people may have watched it, especially young people that were also likely to be fans of hip hop. But now people see a Kai Cenat, a Playboi Max, maybe even an Adin Ross, and in their eyes, they're like, man, I would love to be a streamer as opposed to being a musician. And they also have this flawed idea in their head that streamers make more than rappers, which some streamers may make more than some rappers. But that's not wholly the truth. And I should put at the end of your screen a video where I explain why rappers are no longer like the number one cool factor to streamers. But I do think rappers still have a strong influence on culture, and they're less visible, which always has more of an element of people aspiring to be like you than streamers. So I'll put that most likely in the pinned comment and somewhere on your screen right now, and you can check it out. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think there's anything wrong with what Kai Cenat was doing? Especially if you're a Carti stan. I really want to hear from Carti stans on this, because you'll have a perspective that most of us unbiased people won't have. So let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Go to helloyassine.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Peace.